64-bit legends. Welcome.
Legend of the game like GoldenEye, I'm more than right.
Yeah.
The perfect dark is dreams that seem to come to light. 64-bit, the shit, it's as real as it
Yeah.
gets. We can
Yeah.
talk sports, games, and music, take your pick. With the news, pull up and crack a brew. Smoke one with the crew, tune in and take a view.
Watch.
We here to raise the bar from the lowest mark. Sit your ass down and listen, it's time for the show to start.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the 64-Bit Legends proudly presents to you the greatest podcasters in the world. I am Bobby Caboose. This is Melvin Troy looking for that hot tag.
Oh, we're hot tagging it in, baby.
Just like the Power Hour. Mm-hmm. Episode 93, I believe.
I believe so, yeah. We're almost at that 100 mark. That's going to be a big deal. Oh, my God. I know we just did like a whole podcast and a half. Now, by the way, Siri just kicked in on my watch because I bumped the button.
Okay.
And I said, we almost hit that 100 mark. And all it heard was Mark. And so it was like, do you want to call Mark? And the only Mark that I have that I know in here is somebody I haven't talked to in like 20 years. So I'm like, I don't want to talk to that Mark.
Which Mark is it?
Not one you know. Someone I
okay.
used to work with. Yeah. It's so
You used to work with Dusty Rhodes.
I did.
He signed some of your papers.
Yep.
And so Franklin Moore.
Franklin Moore, before he was a dating contestant. Yeah. He was somebody.
I forgot he was a dating contestant.
Yeah.
But, the last couple weeks we've been kind of talking about Quiet on the Set. We've been talking about Diddy. We've been talking.
Yeah, we've been
People have been talking. We've been talking to people.
Yeah. Let's give them something to talk about. Here, I'll give you something here. This is something I want to talk about real quick. Before we get it, because we're going to catch up on some of those. There's been a few little things. But before that, I have really been preoccupying my time. And we went in depth on it. But just to give everybody an overview, I'm back on the dating scene, right?
Snap.
Yeah.
Melvin Troy is now available.
I'm available. So just, ladies, get ready.
Not all at once.
So, obviously the best success I've always found is like if you meet someone in person.
Yeah, for sure.
However, in the world of like marketing, you have to go after every avenue because you never know. A lead's a lead.
Yeah.
You never know what it could turn into.
I mean, you're not going to pass down a property on Monopoly.
Right.
Like you got to collect that rent.
So I go on. I also have I have two dating apps that I'm currently using, kind of A/B testing.
Okay.
Obviously, you have to pay for them. The days of the free dating app are gone. It doesn't matter. You got to pay. They're not too bad. Like I got Tinder, of course. That's the basic. It's got the biggest user base. And then I have Hinge because I keep hearing about Hinge. And I'll be honest with Hinge, the girls tend to be a little bit more attractive. But they also seem to be, there's definitely a class difference. I think that the users, for the most part on Hinge, are of like a higher income bracket, I'll say.
Yeah.
Or live in an area from a higher income bracket because they all seem to be fairly attractive. But there's a few things that stand out to me that I wanted to touch on.
Now, do you think because Tinder's reputation is like hookups, right? Is Hinge, do you think, is more for like relationships or? Yeah,
their big thing is their slogan is something like, this is the dating app meant to be deleted. Like they want you to, that's what they stake your reputation on. And they push you to have to talk to people. So unlike the way it works, everybody knows Tinder, right? I'll pull up Tinder.
Swipe
for you.
right, swipe left.
Yeah. So you pull up Tinder, kind of. I mean, there's a few other things, but
super like and shit like that, right?
Yeah. So you can turn it down, you can say whatever, and it's meant to. They know you're supposed to fly through these, pretty quick. That's why you don't even have to open their profile. You can just tap one side or the other and flip through their pictures pretty quick. And I do that, and within like 3 seconds, I've made my decision, right or left. Here's the thing, as a dude, if you're using Tinder, swipe right on everybody. Doesn't matter.
Right, because the odds are not in your favor as a dude. Like girls get, like, every single girl gets messages on there.
Oh, yeah.
Like, every single one. You could be butt-ass ugly and you're still going to get fucking messages.
Well, and so couple things with that. So this is what I do. I swipe right on everybody, and then the people I match with, I'll wait like a day. I'll also pay because I have the platinum, so you can see if people like you.
Yeah.
So if anyone does like you, that you haven't swiped on, you can pick. Like, nah, I don't want to.
Dude,
like,
I remember like I did the same thing because I think it was like around this time last year that you told me like that you were paying, I think, for Tinder and Bumble, right?
Yeah, I tried Tinder and Bumble.
I tried the same thing, and dude, seeing the people that like you, like I remember I was out on on a date with a girl, and she was like, "Do you mind me like looking at who likes you on there?" And I'm like, I kind of do mind, but here you go. Because they were all fucking heifers, dude. They were all fucking huge. Like, they all looked like either offensive linemen or linebackers. And, like, she's like, wow, you don't have one cute girl in here. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
it's because and there's a reason for that. So that's actually something I wanted to cover here. There's a few different things going on. So with Tinder, it's all about swiping right. You unmatch the ones that you match with that you don't like.
Right.
And then what I'm doing right now is, last year I was doing it more for validation. Really, I really wasn't wanting to date. I just wanted to feel wanted.
And there's tons of women that just do that too for like validation, have no intention of meeting, talking, anything.
Absolutely. And so, but this year I'm like, you know what? We're going to do this and I'm going to go because I just got to get out of the rut. I got to get out of the rut. We're going on dates. We're doing the dates and you never know. Maybe I'm not finding the one, but I'm finding somebody that's good for now. Right? So anyway, point is, I'm doing that. Tinder, everybody understands that. I got Hinge this time. Now, Hinge, the way this works is you go and you have like a profile.
Yep.
Right? And you got to scroll down through it. There's pictures and there's prompts. You can film a video response. Like you can make a video, full video, like 30 seconds or so. You can record your voice with a prompt. You got 30 seconds. Pictures, obviously, text. And then what you do is if you like them, you got to pick one of these items they put.
Oh,
to
and
like.
you have to like. Yep. I do remember, like, because I did have a Hinge, but I never paid for it, so I do remember that.
Yeah, so you got to like it. So it's like this girl says, she's a cute girl.
Yeah.
And she says she wants to read more books and run more 5Ks. That sounds positive. Okay. And I go, and I like that. And I can add a comment if I wanted.
Yeah.
I tried that for a while, and it's not really worth the time. So it's all about speed here.
Yes.
So I just send that. And I have the peak. No, I'm not sending a rose. That's like a super like.
Yeah, I know.
Just send a like. So anyway, so I just do that, and then you're on to the next one.
Yep.
And honestly, these girls are fairly cute that are on here. But like I said, they're the selections on Hinge are better. Mm-hmm. But I don't get as much attention. Like there's a couple people I've matched with. I've gone back and forth with a few people. I don't know where it'll go. But anyway, the thing that this is what I've seen though, because you said that girls would do this for validation.
Yeah.
And then there's something that I've noticed in some of these profiles, and I want to, and I understand it because I do it, guys do it too. So there's the typical thing of everybody complains, I match with people, but nobody talks.
Right.
Right? Now, there's a couple things that's going on there. Number one, if you match with someone and you didn't talk, that means you like them just enough to say, yeah, let's see if they like me back. But you don't really like it because you were like, well, if that person liked me, let's play the lottery again and let's see if I can score something better. We all do it.
Yep.
We all do it. If you say that you don't, you're a fucking liar.
I agree.
And so the thing is on Hinge though is because since it requires more engagement and they actually have to fill out more of a profile here.
Yeah.
Like how many times have you gone on Tinder and you try to look at a girl's profile and there's like nothing there? Like this one they actually have to do that, and they could do multimedia. So it's interesting to hear a girl's voice, before you meet her. So that's
because you don't want some girl that looked like the girl that you had up there and be like, hey, Melvin,
yes.
Would you like to go to the movies?
Yes, exactly. So, there's that also helps. But because they're having to put more effort in, girls are having to put more effort in this. I'm sure there's guys that do this too, but I don't interact with them. So I noticed stuff that they put on there. Like, well, this girl actually seems to have a personality, so this is a bad watch. I'm gonna be on like a good
Good streak.
I'm gonna be on a good streak right now. Yeah, where they're just like cute girls with personality. They're not hot, but they're just nice. They're just my type. God damn it. Give me one that has like what I'm looking for. But it'll basically say something like, can I see stuff that I've messaged people? Can I see? No, damn. But or maybe, oh, here we go. So we'll do this. So I'm going to go with,
you gotta get a gym selfie in there.
Yes, perfect. That's what I got right here. So this girl, hot girl, right? She's got to put on here. Objectively, gym selfies, ride motorcycles. I have it set to like 27 to 40. This girl is 34.
Okay.
So pretty good for 34. I can see a little age in her face, but that's okay. Hey, I'm no spring chicken myself.
Yeah.
So, so she'll write stuff in here like, okay, well, she's actually like, that's a bad example because she didn't even write anything.
Well, no, like once I put like last year when I was on these apps, once I put a gym selfie up, I got a lot of like likes from that selfie.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I got to try. Because I got to go to the gym later tonight anyway.
I would. That's what I mentioned. That's why I was mentioning it, but I didn't. She had a gym selfie.
Oh, gotcha.
But yeah, that's like the most most attention that I got was from the gym selfie.
Okay, this is a perfect example. Now this girl, she's like 42, but she's had a lot of work done. She's got like
Yeah.
She's it's obvious. But so this is the type of stuff I see. These are hot girls, hot women, and they'll say stuff like, the way to win me over is honesty, effort, clear communication, emotional intelligence, stable, funny, knowing yourself and what you want, happy with your life. Now you look at that and you're like, well, I fit all those categories. No, I don't. Because what she's imagining is like a 10 out of 10 guy.
Yep.
Right? She's looking at a 10 out of 10 guy in whatever age range she's probably wanting, between the ages of late 30s to maybe late 40s.
Mm-hmm.
A George Clooney type of guy, bunch of money, and she wants that guy to have all of that.
Yeah, she looks like that particular one. Looks like she just wants to be laying out on a boat.
Right, but I see this with the girls that are like in their 20s too.
Right.
So, but my point is what she said, because this, I've seen a version of this like 100 times, and they're very attractive girls, and they say this stuff. And so it almost baits you into being like, oh, that's me. I'll respond to that.
Yep.
And it's like, no, it's not. What they're looking for is like, to be fair, I'm probably like a 6.
Yeah.
I'll put myself as like a 6. For my age, probably 6'7". I think, honestly, for 37, I think I look pretty decent.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, she wants top tier. That doesn't fit. And the problem is she's probably used to, and there's other girls that are like, not as attractive as this girl that'll write this stuff, and it's pretty clear like they're shooting above their weight class. Right. And when you're writing stuff like this, that means they're routinely shooting above their weight class, and these guys are like, I'm not gonna be honest with you, I'm not gonna be clear, I'm not gonna tell you my feelings, I'm not gonna connect with you, I'm not gonna communicate with you, because I have so many other options. And I see this all the time where there's these girls that are like, for this girl's 40. Mm-hmm. She's pretty good for 40.
Yeah.
I'd say she's probably like an 8 for 40.
Right.
But I'm seeing girls that are like 27 write this shit, and they're like, they're probably like a 8, 9. Really. I mean, they're writing this stuff, or not even. Sometimes I see them like, I'm like, honestly, I could meet you at the bar. Like, I don't really like. Why are you? But I'm like, this is why you're dating, or you're trying to land somebody way above your weight class, and you're upset that it's not working out. But you won't lower yourself to that. Now, what that tells me more importantly is that they're not. Now, you can be mad about this. I see people online, like I'm sure you've heard the term incel before. Like what they would call incels bitching about this. Being like, yeah, they just want a 10 out of 10 guy. They're not even fuck women, blah, blah. No. There's going to be a point in time where hopefully, unless they're completely retarded, they're going to realize like, all right, this is not working. I gotta settle.
Yeah.
We're going to have to settle at some point. We're going to have to be brought down to reality.
Yeah.
Here. And that's the problem, I think, that with dating apps and like generally social media for women are very easily sold. And I'm not saying this as to be misogynistic. It's because they make more emotional decisions. And if you ever worked in sales before, you know that people don't buy on logic, they buy on emotion.
Right.
So the easiest person to ever sell to is a woman. So look it up. It's a fact. Okay. Ask any salesperson you know. Ask any psychologist that you know. They'll tell you the same thing. Now, because of that, they're easy to be sold. So they're easily gassed up. When think about this, you can go online and you can have every dude across America come across your profile one way or another and give you a compliment. Now, when you're in your immediate circle of people, 20 to 50 people that you can interact with in real life, and you all of a sudden can inflate yourself, be like, look at all these people, give me all this attention and praise. That means I'm amazing. I'm like a celebrity. In reality, you've gotten all these like weirdos from all over the place gassing you up. And I unfortunately feel that a lot of these women are living in this false reality. And then I see stuff on TikTok, or I see, now that I'm getting older, I'm seeing like profiles of women in their 40s.
Yeah.
And they're like, wow, you're telling me that you're ready to settle down and have kids? You're 42.
Right.
Like, I don't think biologically it's going to happen.
You might die.
Yes. Like, I don't think that's going to happen for you, ma'am. It's just not. I'm calling you ma'am. That's how, like, I'm 37, bro. I'm going to be, ladies I talk to, yeah, I'll talk to girls in their 20s, but I'll also talk to women that are in their late 30s. You're a ma'am.
Yeah.
By then, now's not the time to really be like, all right, enough's enough. Let's rein it. You missed the boat. You got sold a bag of a bill of goods that is bullshit.
She's like, I want 6 kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude! There was one I want to say I matched with, was on Tinder, and I purposely didn't unmatch her because I wanted to remember this, unless she unmatched me. She is 41. This is her profile. Live by a healthy diet and exercise. Okay. Ready for a long-term relationship. Marriage minded. Okay, you're 41. Working on home remodeling, educated, career-oriented. Oh, she changed it. I think she changed it. Hold on a second. There was a whole thing about
wanting kids.
Yes. Looking for, like, you know, like, do you want, there was like a prompt that said like something about like, oh, what's your opinion on kids? It'd be like, I'm ready to start, you know, blah, blah, blah. Do you think? But yeah, she changed it. Well, I got on match her now.
There's one person that you accidentally messaged.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Right?
I did.
And I know for a fact that she, you know, in her dating world,
yeah,
like she has these expectations of the guy has to have a big dick, make 100,000 a year, and like whatever else, like fucking her bullet points. And like, we're all just sitting there like, okay, you're like a 5 or 6.
She's not.
Like,
so
maybe a good looking 6.
So I still have her. So I did the swipe spree. Here's the second part of the secret for Tinder. I can't use this on Hinge because it just, the system doesn't. It's harder to do. But what I do is I come up with a simple opening message. Sometimes I use something. There's like a couple else I'll alternate with. Some of them are created by ChatGPT because I don't care.
Right.
I'm not putting a lot of emotion in this because most of them go unanswered anyway.
Right.
So it doesn't matter. So I'm just putting anything that'll get a response within reason. I'm not doing the thing because back in the day, some dudes would be like, "Oh, I just message girls like, let me put it in your asshole," and then sometimes they message me back, and I'm like, "Well, that's just
like
ridiculous."
a Noster.
Yeah. So, but I say something simple. Actually, for this one, I said, Something just, and it's corny. Actually, this one I didn't even write. This is ChatGPT. You can tell because ChatGPT is the corniest shit.
Yeah.
But it honestly, it works more than you would be surprised.
Right.
Like, because I think it's just it's smart enough it knows to get an answer.
Yeah.
It's not quite human, but so I just put couldn't resist swiping right when I saw your smile. Second message, because I do too, because it makes it look more natural. What's your idea of a perfect day? Just open it up.
Yeah.
Positivity. Because when I came across it, I just seen her main profile, which I didn't recognize her. It's a little filtered, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't quite look at it. So as I went through the rest of the pictures, no face there. I'm like, all right. And then I didn't notice until, and I probably, when I was swiping, I probably didn't get past here.
Right.
I was like, this is probably good enough.
Right.
And then once I got to around here, there was one more. I think there was one more. I was like, wait a minute, I know her.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, okay. Well, that's going to be awkward.
Right.
So,
Well, yeah.
she didn't answer me back, so she's not interested.
Right,
You're
but-
interested enough to which is crazy to me, though, because you did match with me, though.
Yeah.
But didn't you see it? Like, which is like, you're just telling me, like, oh, you're just looking for the validation.
Right.
Which is fine. I understand it.
But like I said, like
Like,
unrealistic expectations for like a guy. Like it's like if a guy was like, I'm only going to date a girl with double D tits.
Yeah.
She makes her own money, no kids, 32 and under to 25, and she's got to blow me every night.
Yeah.
Or whatever the case may be. And I'm like, dude, like, and social media and like TikTok and all this shit, it all influences this. And because they have unrealistic expectations of what they see on social media, and then they're like, well, why can't I have that? Because that doesn't exist. It's not real.
Yeah. I understand you want to shoot for the stars, but sometimes you got to be like, all right, I don't have enough fuel to get there. So maybe I can, can I at least shoot for like the top of a mountain or something, or a treetop? Can I at least launch myself up? Like, yeah, you gotta be realistic. And that's the thing that I've just kind of come to realize right now is it's not like, there was something I saw where it said life isn't measured in time. It's measured in like adventures, right? And I hate the word adventures because it's so corny. Like when I see a girl's profile, they're like, let's go on adventures. I'm like, God, shut up. You don't even know what that means. An adventure to you is like
kayaking down Dodge Park.
Yeah, or a fucking going to an apple orchard, a pumpkin patch.
Let's go to an apple orchard and fucking wear flannel and act like I'm taking this fucking apple off this tree, even though I have no intention. And if I accidentally break it from the branch, I'm just going to throw it on the ground.
Yeah.
And then with you, specifically, fucking, if you're doing keto, you can't have cider.
Nope.
You can't have donuts.
Nope.
You can't even probably have a fucking apple. So, apple orchards, stop.
No. Yeah, it's not.
No one fucking cares.
It's not worth it.
Sit on a barrel of hay and fucking take a picture for Instagram. Yeah, this is really fun. This is a fun date. Are you having fun? Because I'm having fun taking pictures of you everywhere.
But
And I hate wearing flannel. Don't make me wear flannel.
I don't mind a flannel. It's very warm.
I'm not Al Borland. Never claimed to be. I'm not
don't
born
mind
to
a
be
flannel.
Borland. I'm more of a Tim guy.
I like
all right?
I like a flannel because it's thick enough where I don't have to wear a jacket when it's like 50.
I'm the tool man, all right? I take a tool and I fuck things up, all right?
Well, but to piggyback that though, like I was saying, life. I was reading that life. I might be butchering this, but life isn't measured in time; it's measured in adventures. And what that means is though, like you ever think about like how sometimes it's not even good or bad. It could be good, could be bad. Like when a lot of people talk about how time flew from 2020 to now, COVID and all that.
Yeah.
And people talk about this all the time. And I saw this video that kind of broke it down. It's because since no one could really go out, everybody found themselves in routine.
Yeah.
And routine, time flies because it's the same thing every day.
Yep.
Like I remember not leaving the house for so long, you kind of like, it's hard to focus almost.
Yeah.
Like because your brain isn't, experiencing anything.
You
There
get that
was,
stir crazy, man. You're like,
Yeah.
I got to go do something, but you can't go.
yeah, like there was these periods where I would finally like go out for like an entire day, and I would be so exhausted because my brain is now like being stimulated. And there's something to that, because I was looking back at like a lot of the things in my life of like, these time periods. Like there's a stretch of time I was reminiscing about. I talked about it on one of my streams when we were doing an anniversary stream, but it was during the period of 2000 and roughly like 2009 to 2011. That felt like ages.
Yeah.
Not ages ago, but like during that time, I had to actually count the years of like, wait a minute, I did this. No, that was still 2010. When I did this, no, that was still 2010. I was like, there's a lot of shit happening. I thought there was like 4 years worth of shit all dumped into 1 year. And it's happened to me in cycles throughout my life. And then there's times where all of a sudden it's like, where did the fucking time go?
Right.
And so that's what I've come to realize. And so this is the message the heartfelt message before we move into some of the other stuff. That is like, I'm just wanting to go out and like experience. You got to experience things because you're more in the moment.
Yeah.
And time slows down a little bit and you feel like there's more going on. And hey, if that means, you know what, we're going to do a bunch of awkward dates and so be it. Maybe one day I'll run into Tony Robbins in an elevator and I'll get shallow held and life will change.
Maybe. Well, so kind of go off that, on X, I hate calling it X.
Yeah, I don't know. It's Twitter.
Twitter. I was scrolling through and I saw this video, and this guy has his own Twitter page and shit following, and he's a content creator. But his content is he goes up to people 70 and older, right? And he just interviews them. And it's just simple questions like, like if you could go change something in your life, what would you do? Blah, 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 and all this stuff. And he was like, he broke down like what his main responses were. And the main response for like, what do you, like, what kind of advice would you give? And the main one was like, I'm going to butcher this, but it's like, money doesn't mean as much as you think. And they're saying they're like, you work all your life to get retired and get this age and have a bunch of money so you don't have to work. But at the same time, you don't enjoy your life when you're young and shit like that. And I'm like, you know what? That is true, because if you're just working to retire and not have fun while, you kind of miss out on a lot of stuff. Like money doesn't mean everything. Like you just like the experiences, like you said, and doing things like that. And going on vacation and seeing places and doing things, like even if it costs money, like even if you're trying to save for your retirement or whatever, you should go experience those things.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, then you're just doing a routine just until, you're 65, and then you have no idea how much time you have left after that.
Right.
Like you could live 5 years, you could live a year, you could live 30 years.
Even if you make it that far, you can get hit by a train or something. It's like nothing. Well, maybe not a train, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's like if you get hit by a train, you're doing something wrong.
Right. Or you could end up on a Netflix series. Who knows? Like someone could kill you.
Right. So yeah, there's definitely something to that, because like I've never been like a super like making a bunch of money guy. Like as time's gone on, you make more.
Right.
But like I look at myself that there's people that I know that make tons of money. And yeah, money doesn't mean everything because you'd be surprised. You mentioned like people like, oh, I can only be with someone that makes 100,000 or more. It's like you really don't realize like $100,000 sounds like a lot, especially if you're not making that.
Right.
You're like, man, that would be everything. But your life adjusts with your income.
Yeah.
You're always like in its little things. It's little things that start to add up, and and it slowly creeps in, and you realize that if you're making 100,000 a year, you're not living high on the hog.
Right.
You're really not. Like you're gonna be getting by just like, no, you're not gonna be like starving. You're not gonna be, but you still have to work every day. You
Right.
still have to do it. You're not able to just sit back and be like, I made it. I'm done now. I can retire. No, you have to keep working. And on top of that, you get taxed more.
Right.
So that's a whole other conversation.
And a whole another level of stress might come upon you
Oh, yeah.
depending on the job. Because, like my girlfriend had said, like, no job is worth your mental health, right?
Yeah.
And she was telling me this story about her, I think it was her dad that had known someone that, was on like executive level, super under stressed. He wasn't happy with his marriage. He ended up killing himself in his own office, like blowing his brains out in his office. And
wow.
like just because he was like super stressed about the job, his marriage wasn't going well. He never saw his kids, like shit like that. And
Wow.
Sometimes it's not worth it.
No, it's not. It's definitely not. It's definitely you gotta like find other things to keep you busy and experiences and things like that. I'm not just saying though, because let's get into. I see this a lot, especially on the dating apps, because it's always women that are single typically. you
Yeah.
know? And they always are in this period, especially if they're on a dating app. That means they're open to anything. They're
Right.
doing their live, laugh, love period.
Yeah.
And there is nothing more irritating than a live, laugh, love woman. I can't. There is
You don't want to go to Hobby Lobby and pick out some stuff?
no. And honestly, so on one of these, I think there's two tactics I do. One is it on Hinge that I have it set? Yeah, Hinge I have it set in a way where it's not a hard rule. So it's like they prioritize a certain parameter, but if I run out of options, they'll
Yeah.
give me other stuff outside of it. So what I have them suggest to me is basically any woman that's not a white woman. I don't care what it is. Because I'm sorry, ladies, and I don't care. I don't care what race you are. If you're attractive, you're attractive.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But there's just so many there's so many like annoying white women.
Dude,
They're
100
so,
fucking
like-
percent.
So what I prefer is that I go through like every other type of woman, and then when they throw a white woman in there, it's like, okay, that's fine, because I'm just overloaded with the same shit over and over. You want to talk about a fucking like hive mind? There's no bigger hive mind than white women. I'm
Dude,
sorry.
You and I both have dated outside of our race.
Yes.
And the most trouble I've ever had
Yes.
is with white women.
Yes.
Black women don't play the games white women do.
No.
Asian women don't play the games
No.
that Mexican women don't.
No.
It's fucking unreal, the games that these fucking
It's
white
so-
women play.
So I purposely avoid them just so I have like, and plus it's also just a thing of like, give me something that's different. Like, I'm so sick of green flags I look for: honesty, loyalty, and consistency. That tells me, this of course is a white woman.
Yeah.
This tells me that that is something that you are running into a lot. Now, if it means you're running into a dude that's not honest, that's not loyal, and isn't consistent with you, that means if they're not really that into you, probably
Right.
because they have other options, that means you're shooting above your weight class.
Right.
You gotta know that, because even as a guy, you know that if there's a girl that's way outside of your league, you're usually gonna have to try a little bit more
Yep.
because you don't want to lose her.
Right.
Because if some other dude comes around and he can take her.
Right.
So you got to put in the extra effort, and that's just the reality. That's truly. There's been times I've seen more attractive, like a girl's dating a guy that's kind of like on the attractive scale beneath her. Not saying they're a bad person, but is it beneath her? And
You wonder why.
you wonder why, but more importantly, if the guy isn't trying, then it's like it's really is. Other guys will see that as open season.
Yeah.
Like it's like it would be. It's crazy. It's crazy to think that So you're better. My point is though, like, unless, hey, maybe if you can, I'm not saying there are relationships that are like unevenly matched on a scale of attractiveness that don't work. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that doesn't exist. But I'm saying let's live in reality and just look at the generality. Okay? Hey, if you meet someone that's far more attractive, that's great, but that shouldn't be an expectation.
Yeah.
That's the key. So and there is no more entitled set of women out there than white women. I'm sorry. They're just
100%.
very entitled. And it's extremely annoying. And there's been so many times I've had to bite my tongue in front of them and just say, God, you sound dumb right now. You just sound so stupid.
I mean, after the last white woman that I was chasing, I sworn off white women.
Well, there you go.
Like, it's done. Like, I just can't do it. Like,
yeah.
And a lot of them don't have personalities.
No.
A lot of them, like, you know, it's crazy on how different the races, the women act.
Not to say that there aren't, like, there's some, I'm not going to say, like, it's all this, because there's, like, black or Asian girls that I've come across that are definitely, I think it's more of like a class thing,
right,
really at its core, but you can't filter on class on a dating app. You can only filter on race, unfortunately. Right. It's actually dating apps are racist. Yeah. I'm just going to be honest. Dating apps are pretty racist.
Yeah.
And I wish they could everyone had to submit a W-2 and what zip code they live in. And then you can sort by class. Because, bro, if we could do that, honestly, honest to God, it would be so much easier. You know what? I say that.
You wouldn't match
wrong.
anyone.
No, you wouldn't.
Because all the girls would just go to the highest class.
You're right. You're right. What do I say?
Terrible idea.
You know what, though? No.
Nobody's going to be single forever with this idea.
No, because this is why. I want that. Because because at that point.
You want to call a bitch a bitch.
Right.
You money-hungry bitch.
Exactly. That means, because here's the thing. If they match with you, that means they're open. That means they're like, hey, you know what? Because you know that there are some that, you know.
Don't care about that shit.
Yeah. So, like, there you go. It clears the board for me. You still got to sit there and swipe like crazy, but you
got to put your tax information.
Well, you put your tax, so what? You submit a W-2 or a 1099
TurboTax comes out with a fucking dating app.
You got to send, it's like your mortgage. You have to send in, like, the previous year's tax return on a dating app. That would be the move. And you have to have a pay stub to show if you have a job or not. And a zip code.
It's like Michigan Works.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. I think it would be way better at that point. Don't get rid of this stupid shit. I lie. I'm like 5'10". Okay?
You're not 5'10".
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I am.
Are you 5'10"?
Mm-hmm.
I thought you were shorter than that.
Mm-mm. No, I just measured myself the other day. That's how I know. And I know people think that. I honestly think it's the reason why is I'm still too heavy for like my body shape. Like I'm not meant to be. I'm like 190, high 180s, depending. I really do need to be like 170 or less because it does. I look top heavy, a little bit. Because I have to, for the shirts to fit me, they're usually boxier shirts,
right,
which then hang down lower, which make my legs look lower. So yeah, but I'm actually like, I'm about 5'10". I had this happen on someone's stream not long ago, and I had to like stand back to back with someone's like, no, I'm 5'10", I'm taller than you. And I'm like, no, you're not. You're really not. and they weren't. They weren't.
All those years of just you being a little guy.
Yeah, well, I'm a little guy as far as like weight. You know what I'm saying? Like as far as density.
Yeah. Okay. You're less dense than everyone.
Yeah, I'm less dense. Volume, pure volume. I'm usually smaller. But
cubic ounces.
Yeah. But I lie, and I just say I'm 6 foot because most women don't know the difference. They really don't.
Yeah.
They don't know that. You don't know. You're gonna sit there and discriminate. Like, I think you're 2 inches. If I go on a date with somebody, if I end up getting on a date with someone, and they're like, "Wait a minute, you're not 6 foot. You're 5'10" or something." Yeah, I don't know. I can measure. And they measure me right there.
Hats off.
First of all, hats off to you. You're really committed to this. And secondly, if you get shitty about it, I
don't
know
want to be with you anyway.
Well, there's that.
Oh, okay.
But there's also a thing of like, I'm pretty sure that I can also say like, hey, how much do you weigh? Because that's something you can control. That's something you can control.
When was that last picture taken?
Exactly.
But
so
with me, like I'm a legit 6'2", right?
Yeah.
But like I know 6'2" is like it's always like a joke because normally when people put their 6'2" on the dating apps or the guys, they're not really 6'2". Like that's like a quick. Like,
yeah, I wouldn't do that.
Like
That's
default number.
That's too, because there's a pretty big obvious difference between, you know, what would that be for me? Like a 4-inch difference?
Yeah.
Like that's an obvious.
But like I'm
You
saying,
can't
like,
lie about
that's
that.
like a generic.
2 inches, I'm
that's
gonna
like
lie
a generic height that people always put. Like it's like.
Yeah.
It's weird because like I just come across it a lot, and like I've even been asked like, "Are you really 6'2"? I'm like, "Yes, like I'm 6'2". Like,
Because I've always been any girl I've ever been with, I've always been taller than her.
Right.
Like it's not a thing of like, if I was really, but the reason I do it more so is because if you when you're filtering for it, it's like what you do on a resume.
Right.
You're just playing to the algorithm. Like they just put that in there. They don't know.
Right.
They can't measure anything. There's a whole trend on like TikTok where girls go and put their camera phone up at the height of like who their husband is.
yeah.
And they're surprised on like how tall that really is
Mm-hmm.
and how ridiculous that is. Or you could ask, if you ask any girl, they don't know. It's the same thing with, honest to God, unless they're just like a size queen, they don't know dick measurements.
Right.
They don't know. They don't know, because if you got a girl that's saying, unless they're a known size queen, they're like, no, they gotta have fucking 7 inches plus. Like, do you understand what that really means? Do you know what 7 inches is? That's fucking like, hold on. That's probably,
That's more than half a ruler.
yes. Oh, no. That's probably that's big as this candle. This is not a foot.
I know.
So it's probably, if you're talking, that means this.
Like,
So you're
do
telling
the
this.
little inch thing.
Oh, yeah. It's
Isn't
1,
it like an inch?
5, 6, yeah, it's about 7 inches. Because this is like that gap for me is a little over an inch on my thumb. So, yeah, so this. So you're saying anything smaller than this going inside you. I know the listener can't see. It's a 7-inch candle. Get a ruler, see what I'm talking about. It's the Nun Man candle you may have seen on the stream or in the promos. But it's it's a standard size. It's about the size of a Prime bottle.
Yeah.
Not width, but like
Unless you have
length.
a huge chode.
Yeah. But it's like, you're telling me that's there's no way. Like, there's girls I am not packing, by the way, at all. But there's girls that I've hit like the bottom on.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, it doesn't go that deep. And most girls that are honest and actually know what they want will say that, like, yeah, it's
A big dick will hurt.
yeah, it's like, no, we don't need all that.
Yeah.
You don't need to get, again, unless you have like some strange proclivity. But even then, it's like, you don't understand, like, that is not realistic. I didn't mean to get into all that. We were supposed to catch up on Quiet on Set. Speaking of
Speaking of like
love, speaking of
different
love,
ways.
yeah. Speaking of love and dating, I just wanted to talk about this dating app for like
I know.
5 minutes. We ended up doing 42 on it. So let's switch gears here for a second.
Jesus. Quiet on the Set.
Yeah,
Came out with the 5th episode, right?
I didn't get to watch it. You said you watched it. What is it worth it?
It's a bait and switch, dude. It is a fucking bait and switch.
Now, the big draw of the main set of episodes is really what
we
they could have
both
done.
agreed on was Drake Bell.
Yeah, they could have just done did a little documentary, hour and a half thing about Drake Bell,
Right.
in his case.
Right.
That would have been it. But they had to stretch it out to 4 episodes.
Yep.
With a bunch of bullshit.
Yep. And so they start off with Drake Bell.
Yeah.
He basically says, like, this is the first time I came out publicly with all this stuff. Asked if, people reached out to him. He mentioned what's the other dude's name? Drake and Josh. Josh.
Yeah,
He
Josh
mentioned
Beck.
him and, like, about, like, the hate he was getting and, like, kind of the video that we saw. And he came out with this music video that you had up called, what was that called?
Yeah, so I just pulled that up here. It's called I Kind of Relate by
Yeah,
Drake Bell. Came out about 4 weeks ago.
So they showed like a clip of the video, and the video was kind of like shows like a kid getting molested in a trailer.
What?
Well, so
All
this
right.
kid is led into a trailer by an old dude, and they close the door, so you don't
Okay.
know what they don't show him, but
Well,
it's
let's
implied.
when you're done explaining it, we'll watch this. But let's. So they talk about Drake pretty much like, hey,
yeah,
what's Drake up to type of thing.
pretty much.
Okay.
So he said this helped him with his music, blah 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 blah, whatever the fuck. Then they go on to Little Fetus. They bring a Little Fetus back.
Dude, and I don't know, Little Fetus is so good. Just me saying Little Fetus is the best. I want to, if they don't have that copywritten, I want to make a fucking character called Little Fetus. I don't know, get AI to generate it or something, and we'll just make a
Wrestling promo.
Oh, bro, absolutely. He's gonna be 64-bit Legends next year's Rumble.
Yep.
Little Fetus.
Little Fetus. So Little Fetus comes on with, and if you remember correctly, his mom was a problem on set.
Oh, because she was standing and be like, I object to
Yes,
this. This
yes,
is not
yes.
right. Yeah.
So they come on, and it's more of the fucking bullshit and gaga that this documentary shouldn't have. It should have been two separate documentaries. One I would have watched with Drake Bell, and one I would have passed.
Mm-hmm.
And the interviewer too, it just.
And it's clear that this is post the release of this documentary.
Yes, 100%.
So this is what upsets me even more, because they saw the documentary, they seen the reactions of the documentary. We can all attest that the real story, like I said this on the previous episode when we talked about this, that if I was one of the other people bitching about I had to share a salary as an entry-level writer, and I would have been like, wait, what is this about? Like, oh, you're going to interview Drake and he was raped and all this stuff. Yeah, can you take my complaints out? Because it doesn't really match the tone. I would do it. But these people were like, oh no,
Yeah, keep
I'm
it
a
in.
victim too.
Yes.
Just
So-
equally.
Oh,
a victim.
let me back up real quick. The Boy Meets World cast, they apologized.
Good.
Let's just get that out of the way. So
Good.
because we know that's one of the best sitcoms of all time, Corey Matthews.
It's tainted.
But
tainted.
Will Friedle and Ryder Strong have a podcast together. They came out and apologized for all that. They didn't know.
Yeah, they should have known.
Right.
They should
But
have known.
anyway, Boy Meets World, fucking great.
They're a bunch of pervs.
They're great.
Why isn't Corey Matthews with them? Or whatever his name is.
Because they didn't ask to he didn't write a letter.
I mean, he's a savage.
He is a savage.
He's Ben Savage, right? Or Fred Savage?
He's Ben.
He's Ben Savage.
Fred Savage was Wonder Years, but they're
that's right.
related. They're
Yeah.
like brothers or cousins or something.
So Ben Savage,
And then Randy Savage.
the most successful,
Oh yeah.
the most successful person on that show, Ben Savage, is like, nah, I'm not gonna write a letter on that. But those two idiots are like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do that. That seems like a good idea. Feeney, what do you think about it?
Feeney.
That's what they. And Feeney was like, I don't know, Mr. Masfield. He's like, I'm not that. I'm Ryder Strong or something. And he's like, I don't know.
Mr. Hunter.
Yeah. That was his. I couldn't think of his name.
Sean Hunter.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Matthews was the fucking.
Yeah. The older brother, Eric.
Yeah.
Mr. Matthews. And Topanga. Anyway, so back to Little Fetus.
Yeah.
Apparently, him and his mom hadn't talked since this documentary came out.
Oh, great.
So they had 20 years or something without talking.
Let's just hijack the whole thing about their reunion
Yeah.
now. Oh,
So-
wow. Let's make it about Little Fetus.
Oh, and
The
by
real
the way,
victim.
The interviewer was like, because he's like, I didn't want to tear up, and she's like, I have a box of tissues for both of you if you need it.
God.
So
Drake wasn't crying.
Drake wasn't crying.
All right. He's fucking,
I mean,
and he's the real victim.
Yeah, he is the real victim. So they, Little Fetus blamed his mom because she was always hollering on set. And he blamed her for his career not taking off. Not that he just wasn't talented.
It's probably a little bit of both, honestly.
Right. To be honest, because he probably wasn't that talented, and if he was, they'd probably put up with a little bit more of his mother.
Yeah.
If he wasn't talented, he probably wasn't.
Yeah.
Like, who the fuck is this bitch? Okay, we'll get rid of both of you.
Yeah.
So they didn't renew his second contract or something, and they took him off the show. But she then just goes, she just blatantly says they're racist, and so they claim that they're racist, which I would love T the Monster's fucking
Who was
opinion.
racist? Just everybody?
Yeah. The show, the writers,
Nickelodeon,
they're-
like everybody that
were-
worked there.
They were saying because
Keenan and Kel, that they're fucking like the whole fucking
they,
cast.
they said they were racist because they only had one person representing each race besides white people. So like there was a black girl and a black guy, and then there was like a Mexican kid or something. One other race. I don't know if it's Mexican or Asian or whatever. But they're like, you need that camaraderie. You need at least a second black person or more black people on the set and shit like that to make them comfortable.
There was like, first, it's two things. Number one, when Little Fetus was on there was definitely another. Wasn't there a black girl?
There was a black girl. So
Okay.
They brought the black girl out there with Little Fetus as well. And
Okay.
they're like, yeah, like we only had each other. And I'm like, okay.
Okay.
That's why I would love T's reaction to this.
So that's first of all. Second of all, okay. So they're saying that what was the phrase that they said that they needed more
Diversity
for what was it? What was the reason?
to like have camaraderie with another like culture wise, like
Yeah,
someone that they can click with.
Because they just cannot connect
Right.
with people of other races.
Right.
They can't connect with people. Can we point out the there's like a general like if an Asian guy said that,
Yeah.
you'd be like, what do you mean you can't connect with other races?
Right.
Like you can't get like how stupid is that?
Yeah.
How stupid is what do you mean? Like yes you can. Yeah, that's the idea.
So-
and there's always going to be. I hate to say it, but if you take a cross section of the population of the United States, honestly, if you did it today, if you had like 10 kids
Yep.
on a show, you would probably have 3 white kids, 3 Mexican kids, 2 black kids,
And 2 Asians.
and an Asian, and like an Indian.
Yeah.
And then
Something
one
like
of the
that.
white kids will probably be like possibly Middle Eastern or Jewish or something
Right.
like that. So that's how it's gonna go.
Right.
Like I don't. How many kids do they have on the set?
I don't know.
Like how many?
Probably like 8.
Right. That's what I mean. Like what do you?
So on top of that, they watch the Dan Schneider video that we, the Schneider cut.
Yep.
Right? They
Yep,
watch
yep,
the
yep.
Schneider cut. And Little Fetus just goes, Dan was an actor before he was a writer. That was acting. Okay.
Well, we called it out. It was pretty scripted.
We called it out. It was,
Yeah.
hitting off of T questions.
Yeah.
Like
Softballing. Yeah.
softballing. Softball questions. We get that, right? As far as like him like acting, he just had predetermined responses, I think. Like
Yeah.
he might have been,
Well, it was pretty clear because he was only asked a couple questions and he would just launch into like a whole monologue.
right.
Like
But
it was.
that doesn't mean he's not sincere about it, and that doesn't
No, yeah.
mean like that it's like he's acting.
Yeah, it's
not a script.
What would you just rather like as far as presentation? He could have given you a prepared statement that said the whole thing, same
Right.
thing. He could have given you a written statement that said the whole thing, or he could have tried to like put a little effort in. I can't take away the fact that he tried to put a little effort in to make it seem like it's a genuine conversation, but it's clear as day that it's staged, but it's
Right.
to present it. I'm not saying it's the best way to do it,
Right.
but that doesn't mean guilt.
Right.
And
the thing is too is like athletes and shit do that all the time. They have like
yeah.
or politicians. They'll have like an attorney or someone that writes or their agent write up a script, and they're like, I have to apologize for this, whatever, blah blah blah. Anyway, so they go through that. Then they have this like chubby white kid come on,
Okay.
and he actually like at this point I'm kind of tuned out because I'm like, dude, this is fucking stupid. Like, even my girlfriend was like, wow, they really got us in with Drake, and the rest of this went to shit, just like the fucking documentary. Well, they had this little chubby white kid come on and basically was like, I feel so bad for Drake and like all this stuff, and like basically kind of turned it back over there. But he was on stage with Little Fetus and the black girl and seemed completely fine. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
I honestly think So I brought up this clip because I texted you this.
Yes.
Well, when you told me about it. Mark Summers. Now, Mark Summers, Double Dare, What Would You Do? You know, all that great stuff. Was in the very first episode for like a few minutes.
Yeah, it was at the very beginning when they were kind of like giving the history of Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't know if we're going to dive right into this.
It's a short clip, so I was just going to play it. But
for the fact that, you know, we're going to get into this clip, but like for the fact that Mark Summers admits in this clip that he didn't know any of these kids.
Right.
Like he met Keenan like once.
Yeah, he so here's the clip. We'll let it play.
How was that?
From some radio show he was on, and you could even hear, like, I don't think the host knew about it because the way they pitch it to Mark is like, oh, tell us what you thought about
Right.
it. You must have known a lot and you must be so outraged. But let's see, hopefully this is recording, but let's try giving this a shot.
Being able to talk about all of that, was that like a cleansing feeling to you to finally be able to say, like, hey, I wanted to advocate for these kids and I saw what was going on?
Let me tell you about that. You're going to get an exclusive here.
Yes.
I got called by these folks saying they wanted to do a documentary on Nickelodeon. And so I said, sure. And I went there and they asked me what I thought of Nick. And the first 10 or 12 seconds, from what I understand, of this documentary are me saying all these wonderful things. But they did a bait and switch on me. They ambushed me. They never told me what this documentary was really about.
No way.
And so they showed me a video of something that I couldn't believe was on Nickelodeon. And I said, well, let's stop tape right here. What are we doing? Well, we're doing this thing. Do you know this guy? And all this kind of stuff. And I left. Okay. So I got a phone call about 6 weeks ago saying, you're totally out of the show. And I went, great. Then they called me about 4 weeks ago and said, well, you're in it, but you're only in the first part of it because you talked about the positive stuff of Nickelodeon. What they didn't tell me and they lied to me about was the fact that they put in that other thing where they had the camera on me when they ambushed me. And
No way.
yeah. So now we get into a whole situation about who's unethical.
That's a very interesting. I had no idea. I was wondering about so many of the interviews that they've done and how they did it.
I never
And
met
now
Dan
we
Schneider.
know.
When we got done doing Double Dare and we had run our run, those people came in after and took over our studios. Never met the man. Have no idea about any of those things. I mean, I know Keenan from Keenan and Kel because we've done stuff together. But as far as anything that happened on that show with any of those people, I never met any of them. I didn't know anybody.
This is so crazy.
Right, but they made it seem like I knew
Yep,
those people,
they
right?
definitely did.
Yeah.
Wow.
They knew.
So that goes along with what we were saying. Like, there's something just generally off about
Yeah.
that. Like there's a story there, but they went about it so underhanded to try to sell you on it. It's just, I can't.
So they actually show in episode 5, they actually show a picture of the two women that created this documentary.
Okay.
And after seeing the picture, I'm like, you know, nothing against our female audience and
Yeah.
women out there that make documentaries, but most of the time when a woman makes a documentary, it seems like there is a underlying narrative
Yeah.
and they want to tell a different story instead of just facts.
Yeah. So let me modify what you said there. I see what you're getting at. I think there's a certain ideology that that women tend to have.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's necessarily a woman problem. I just think it's a ideological problem that just tends to have women there. And you know, and I'm guessing I don't know what they look like. I can guess what they look like, and am I right on what I'm thinking?
Probably.
Okay, and we don't have to describe it, but I'm probably sure that these are people that are just generally, like, if you met them in real life, are not happy people.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I mean. Like, there's like a type of woman that's drawn to these ideas, and they tend to work somehow in these creative fields, and that's what we see it with
They kind
a
of
lot of these documentaries. They're just God, especially Netflix. Oh
Yeah.
God, are they bad?
They kind of look like the "I'll prove it to you" women.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'll prove it to you.
I don't need you to prove
Like,
anything. Just stop
and
stop proving.
And you can, you know, I don't usually look at like who's directing or who's producing a documentary, but you can almost tell between the two. Like, there's documentaries that just give you facts, and those are the ones I like. Or you have kind of a narrative, and you want people to think the way you think.
Yeah. Yeah, they're going over I was, especially in college, I worked in I did a lot of stuff, took a lot of classes in like film and some of it in like literature and stuff like that, and the thing that always came across in that stuff is like the story is the most important part.
Right.
Not the message.
Right.
The story. Everything is there to serve the story. So if you're making a movie per se, it doesn't matter how much money you have. There's some really good movies. I mean, look at movies like Clerks, like the original Clerks.
Blair Witch Project.
Those are good movies. They tell a story. They don't cost much. It just tells this, and everything serves the story.
Yep.
So the problem is we've gotten to this place where people have, there's people, and I'm not even trying to make this into a political thing. So I don't want to lean on that, but there's just the wrong people have gotten into these positions of creativity where they're not there to be creative. They're there to push a message.
Right.
And everything is there that they treat the movie as the vehicle for the message, and everything, the story is there to serve the message. And what it should be the opposite. The message should be serving the story.
Yeah. I mean, look at all those Netflix documentaries.
Oh God, they're trash.
Well,
most of it. There's some good ones.
There's some good ones. Even some of the trash ones, the last 15 minutes is trash because then they switch it to what they want to get across. 98% of women that go missing, it's because of their husband. Shit like that.
Great example. Yeah, I think I know the one you're talking about. There was a really good one. It was like, I think it was called American Nightmare. It was about Chris Watts. Killed his wife and kids and put them in a barrel out in the middle of nowhere. And it's all based on, there's no narration, not really. And it's all based on body cam footage, courtroom footage, social media posts, things like that. There is it's so well, I thought it was really well done. It told a story, it got through there, and I was like, you know what? This was interesting. This guy's a piece of garbage. It's a true crime story. This is engaging. And then at the tail end, there was these captions right at the end about something like that, like, most missing women, are usually murdered by their husbands or something.
Yeah.
Some message like that. And I'm like, now, I don't know if that's 100% correct. What is that? What is adding that to this documentary add?
Right.
Like, I just watched something. I watched all the footage, the real footage of this idiot. He was a retard, going and getting caught doing a heinous crime, and how stupid he was, and all the dumb reasons, and why it's such a I don't need you to buy. Hey, by the way, did you get the idea that killing women is bad, and there's bad husbands out there? Just so you know. Like, I already kind of get an idea that exists. You didn't need to drive it home.
Ladies, if your girlfriend seems distressed, make sure you call the police on their husband because it's his fault.
Well, that's kind of. I wish I had the exact words. It's been a few years since I've seen it, but it was something along those lines, and I was like, man, you just kind of like, took all the fucking the impactfulness out of it because now you put an agenda on.
Right, and it's like when TV shows would be like, if you know anyone being abused, like, call this number.
Yes.
And that's more effective because they're like, okay, like, but because the episode was about that. But this, I mean, it's like, dude, we watched the documentary. It's not like people are just going and killing their wives.
That's actually a good example where back in the day, the older sitcoms, we're talking 70s, 80s, would always have a very special episode.
Yeah.
They would call it a very special episode, and it would be some over-the-top thing about, a genuinely good message, but it was just so, like, ham-handed. Like, basically something like, don't hit women, or don't be racist.
Yeah, don't abuse children.
Yeah, like, watch out for pedophiles or something like that. Like, there was a awful, I don't know why they did this. It was a Different Strokes episode
with the old white man.
Yeah, and then there There was Arnold and this other kid Dudley, and basically Dudley got molested in it, and it was so awkwardly done. Where that's a great example of the story serving the message, whereas in a much better sitcom in comparison, because by the 90s they kind of figured it out, where you have like a show like Roseanne. You've probably seen Roseanne before, where it's a comedy, but sometimes they'd have something serious.
Right.
But it didn't really take away from the show.
Right.
It served it. Like there was one where her sister was dating someone who was abusive. And they didn't have to ham-handed like tell you like, oh, you got to watch out.
Yeah.
You never know what's around the corner. They just told the story.
Right.
And then you got the message from the story.
Right.
You didn't need to you could watch the story and walk away without even understanding the message if you're a fucking retard.
Right.
And you can still, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't need to be beat into your head. If you're too stupid to get the message out of that story, then it's not for you.
Right. And like Full House did that with like an abusive kid. Like,
Yeah, I remember
and
that one,
Michelle
yeah.
didn't want to tell, and
Yeah.
you know, or Stephanie. It was Stephanie,
Yeah.
I think, because Michelle was younger. But like, yeah, Uncle Jesse ended up finding out, and he's like, we got to call the police. You know,
Yeah.
he's gonna be much safer. And like, you know, a message towards kids. Like, okay, like if you know somebody that's being like, you have to tell an adult. Like, you can't just let it happen.
Yeah.
And shit like that. But like, yeah, there was no fucking weird message at the end.
Yeah.
Or you know, like.
Yeah, in this very special episode, we did it. Yeah, it's just kind of insults your intelligence, really, is when they do shit like this. So anyway, I know we kind of moved away from it, but I think that this documentary was just, it got a lot of attention for what it was. There was a lot of nostalgia bait in it.
Yeah.
And there was a truly interesting yet terrible story in the middle of it.
Yeah.
So you can't say it's all garbage, but there's a lot of garbage wrapping
Yeah.
that. Like
It is a lot of garbage to get to the meat of the story.
Yeah.
And it's like they dangle Drake in front of you,
yeah.
make you watch all this bullshit to get to him, because you like all the bullshit before is, you know, I get, you know, having a little bit of background on Nickelodeon and what they are, if, you know, you never watched Nickelodeon or
Yeah.
something. I get that. You need a little bit of background,
Sure.
but you don't need
I
a lot. You don't need the other fucking cast members. You don't need, you know, just a lot of the bullshit.
This seemed like when you ever been in like school or college or whatever, and you have like a project that's due, like a big like presentation or a book report or whatever, an essay, and you didn't do all the work. Like you have a good chunk. You have like 25%, and you just fluff the rest. That's what this is.
Dude, I used to do that book reports. Like I would literally read half the book, and I'm like, I don't feel like finishing this.
Yeah.
So my first part of the book report
Yeah.
would be so detailed, and then I would just look up
Yeah.
what happened after.
That's what this is they have like this great story. I say great meaning like engaging. Not it's an awful story. But what happened to Drake? And they have this, and then I'm sure they presented it to somebody who's a decision maker at HBO or whatever. And they're like, okay, gotcha. So you want to do a couple episodes. What else you got? And they're like, there's some stuff about Amanda Bynes. Couldn't get an interview with Amanda
Nope.
Bynes. Couldn't get an interview with Dan Schneider.
Nope.
Couldn't get an interview with anybody related to those people. They told the story like, okay, you did as much work on the Amanda Bynes section of this as the average YouTuber.
Right.
YouTubers do this shit.
Right.
And actually, some of their shit's a little bit more engaging.
Yeah. But we got Little Fetus
Yeah, we were able to scrounge up a little feet. You
and
couldn't get,
Noseboy.
you couldn't get Keenan, you couldn't get Cal, you couldn't get anybody of any real substance. Even you couldn't get Mark Summers because I don't know why.
Danny Tamborelli.
They had to trick him. Yeah, Danny Tamborelli. Fucking who's the other one we were talking about?
Josh Server.
Josh. Yeah, no, the fat girl. What's
Lori Beth Denberg.
Lori Beth Denberg? You know, you couldn't get any of these people. They all shut you down. And it sounds like you already presented the idea before you actually did the groundwork, and now you had to fluff this thing, and you got lucky that it got a bunch of eyeballs. But it's a shitty it's a shitty documentary series with like 1.5 good episodes.
And you know
Like,
what's funny too about the whole thing is they didn't get anyone recent. Like, I mean, Drake's the story.
What about Nick Cannon? He was there around that time.
But like Ariana Grande, or
Yeah.
any of those fucking shows. You didn't get anyone from those. Like it seems like, you went to like 2003 or whenever that the last all that cast was, and they're like, okay, well, that's gonna be the rest, and we're just gonna show clips of iCarly and Victorious and
Yeah, you couldn't get anybody related to iCarly, because iCarly was a that was a show that Dan Schneider worked on. That was toward the end. Victorious. There was even that one girl from iCarly that she ended up doing the show with Ariana Grande.
Yeah, Sam and Cat or whatever.
Yeah, and she has a whole book where she hints at like that she didn't get along with Dan Schneider. You're telling me you couldn't get her to even chime in on some of this? You couldn't sell it? It's not. I'm sure if they just presented, because this is what I imagine these people do. The people that you're describing that made this thing are the type of people. They're like, well, I sent a couple emails and they never responded, so I guess we're not going to be able to get Ariana Grande. And it's like, did you try selling it?
Right.
Did you try putting in the legwork? No, because you're there filling a spot, like the hard work. And so this is the overall thing to kind of wrap this up, because I know we're kind of rehashing some of it, is the issue with this documentary and documentaries like this or series like this on these streaming networks are back in the day when the people that made good movies or good TV shows or people that had hustle.
Mm-hmm.
Think about, especially movies, but even in big TV shows, they had some sort of hustle where they had a vision and they wanted to sell it, and they wanted to sell it, and if they didn't sell it, it didn't get made, and they had to do it. And now with streaming, it's just like, we just need content, please somebody do it, and you just have these fucking fat slobs sitting around, be like, yeah, I can make something. You need something? I'll figure it out. And then they're just like checking a box.
Yeah. Well, like, too, like we just named a bunch of people that were involved with these shows.
Yeah.
That weren't involved. The people that were involved never did anything outside of all that.
No, it's all the people that didn't make it that are complaining.
Yeah, it's the outcasts.
It doesn't actually make the documentary look good.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if you
outside of the Drake thing.
Right. Outside of the Drake thing, not getting Keenan, not getting Kel, not getting all the people that we just listed, Ariana Grande, not getting not one of those people that actually went on and had success outside of this has a problem with it.
Well, and the thing is the Drake story is so, I'm going to say, is almost separate from the story they're trying to tell. It's about, that's the Brian Peck story.
Right.
Now, honestly, what they should have done is, why not do a documentary about that guy?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
two separate. You have, like, HBO wants content. Here's two separate documentaries.
Yeah.
Somehow we can stretch it into 4 episodes if you want.
But I will say this. Here's the positive. Drake Bell, he ran into some bad, he definitely had some bad cards dealt.
Yes.
Definitely got himself into some trouble. We talked about his legal troubles a little bit. But now it looks like he's on the come up.
Yes.
And he's got a new song. Now, he's done songs before. I have his YouTube channel here in front of us. He's got, so we're going to check out this video that he just put out 4 weeks ago. Before that, he did like a little just fun YouTube video about eating some taqueritas or something.
Some Mexican-looking food.
Then he had an album teaser from almost a year ago. Roughly about a year ago, he had a music video, which only got 291,000 views. So it looked like he was just trying to go and just do some YouTube. Looks like he gave it a shot for about, let's see. I think he tried to do like How I Write the Theme Song to Drake and Josh, Look Inside My House. Like, he's just doing some YouTube stuff just to get some clicks, because I know Josh Peck is, pretty big on YouTube. He's doing like vlogs and stuff. So he looks like he tried to give it a shot. He got in trouble about a year ago, probably right after this, and he hasn't really done anything YouTube wise. And then he goes into this video, which he's got other videos that go back years ago, but anyway, nevertheless, it's called I Kind of Relate. It's got 2.8 million views. People in the comments are loving it. The producer taking Little Drake into the camper broke my heart. A Drake Bell comeback wasn't my 2024 bingo card. People are loving it. Let's take a listen to this real quick.
I kind of relate.
So it's like it opens up and there's like a young kid sitting in a director's chair reading a script.
Kind of relate.
Some guy in a leather jacket grabs him by the hand,
Beauty in my pain.
brings him into
I'm running away
a camper or trailer. Do not
from
disturb.
the abuse and all the shame.
Oof.
'Cause no one
Closing the windows.
comes to my house anymore.
It's dark.
I know.
I wasn't expecting this.
Then him and his DUI.
Yeah.
I kind of relate.
It's not my type of music, but
No.
yeah, he's getting out of the car wreck. I'm going to be honest, though. As far as like, hey, you want to capitalize on like getting a YouTube following,
Yeah.
this is it because it's a great way to tell his story, push a song.
Because I didn't even know he did music prior
Yeah.
to this documentary.
Yeah, I was scrolling through a little bit of this, and he's got a bunch of old songs. Barmasil? What? I don't know what that is. Is that a Narcan thing?
I kind of relate.
Must be Narcan or something. Because now he's on a hospital bed, being like revived. And what's happened in 2008?
Probably. He found love in Mexico.
Oh, he's I just realized what that's about. I wasn't really paying attention to lyrics. I was too busy talking over it like an idiot. There's if you go on his channel, I think he's got he's got a career in Mexico as like a singer because he's got
Oh, yeah, he's eating Mexican right here.
yeah, I think he's big in Mexico because if you notice all of his thumbnails are in Spanish.
Yeah.
Look inside my house and then it's mira lo que dentro de mi casa. It's probably like a look in my house. I used to do Spanish a little bit. That's I can
Mi casa is my house.
yeah. La camisa negra. I don't know what that is. He did not.
Something black.
Yeah.
Isn't-
But this is so. Let's just. We'll go back to the other song in a second, but I'm guessing this is in Spanish. Yeah. But yeah, he's got a. Sounds like he's big in Mexico.
Salinas y los Dinos! He's bigger than Salinas.
Yeah, he sings in Spanish. So he's got a career in Mexico. Okay. Hey. So all right. So let me go back. So let's actually pay attention to lyrics now because I feel dumb talking over it. Like I got to explain it. Just listen to the lyrics. It tells a story. Well, I went back a little bit. He got in a car wreck. Whatever we talk about. Now he's talking about Mexico.
So long ago, in 2008,
2008.
I found love in Mexico. 'Cause no one wants to hear me in the States. So I'm running away.
Okay. It's like
Now he's in rehab.
Yep.
Or AA.
It's like a Kenny Powers.
He is a Kenny Powers.
Or maybe I will survive. I know I was wrong, but I'm gonna make it right. I know I've done wrong, but I'm bound to make it right. She left me unaware, 'cause I didn't care for anything dear to her. Out the window to the world, forget about the girl and make it alright. And maybe
So his wife must have left him.
Yeah.
Took the kids.
in my new home tonight.
He's got little booties.
Yep. This is like when Kenny Powers is right about to re-enter the majors.
Yep. And then he fakes his own death.
Well, hopefully that doesn't happen here. If he does, I'm like, you're stealing this gimmick from Kenny Powers, damn it. Come on, Drake, cut it out.
He's a gym teacher.
Yeah, fucking Stevie shows up. Hey, come
Who's
on.
that? Josh?
Yeah, he's the Stevie. He's Steve.
It's me, Stevie Janowski from high school.
Come on, Drake.
Remember I wore a cape.
Is that the set of Drake and Josh he's in?
I have no idea.
I think so. I think that's the bedroom from Drake and Josh.
What a redemption story.
Honestly, I will say, video-wise,
Not bad.
good video. It's very well done.
Visual,
Yeah.
tells a story.
And you know what? He served his time in Mexico, building his career up. But now he's being reintroduced. Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Drake Bell. I got my last. Anyway,
La Flama Blanca. That is it.
oh man, that's yep. No, that was actually good. I gotta say, we make jokes, but I gotta say,
Good little redemption story.
it's a good little redemption story. No, we don't need another Drake song. This is from like 14 years ago, 2006.
When he had Bieber hair.
Yeah. He had like a real record deal at Motown Records, oddly enough. That's interesting. Anyway, so that's good. I'm
Motown Records is Diddy.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I didn't know Diddy owned that.
Yeah.
Diddy owns Motown?
I don't think so anymore, but that's his record. That's one of his record labels.
Bro, if Drake comes out, this Drake Bell, not the other Drake.
Yeah.
This Drake, White Drake,
Yeah, White Drake.
comes out and is then all of a sudden is like, by the way, I got Diddy's story.
No Diddy.
Yeah, no Diddy. You know, it's like, and he starts like fucking like throwing out receipts. Obviously, he wasn't abused by Diddy. That we would never suggest that. But what if he knows?
Yeah, what if there's a second documentary that
What if there's another documentary? Him and 50 hook up
Yep.
together, and they get the revenge story on Diddy. That would be crazy. Well, that was nice. That was a nice deal. Speaking of Diddy, I don't think there's been any other updates.
No, I don't think so yet.
Just-
But
we
we'll
gotta-
keep you updated because 50 is coming out with that documentary. So I think we're gonna break that down like we did Quiet on Set.
Oh, absolutely.
When that comes out, I think that's in the works right now.
Absolutely.
And 50's trying to get like FBI tapes.
Good.
So
He should.
He's trying to purchase those.
I guarantee whatever documentary 50 puts out about Diddy will be better than
Yeah.
the Quiet on Set one, because again, that was just poorly put together. Kind of aside from that, but same time frame of the 90s, we lost somebody.
Yeah.
O.J. Simpson.
He ran out of juice.
Yep. Who's got the juice now?
Bishop.
Yeah.
Well, he's dead too.
Well,
so-
not O.J. He
Not
don't got
OJ.
it.
Dude, so the thing is about OJ, right?
Mm-hmm.
May or may not have killed his wife and a waiter, right?
Could have been his son.
Could have been his son, but OJ promised Fred Goldman that he was going to spend the rest of his life looking for Nicole and Ron's killers.
Looks like we can stop that search.
I'm not sure if he ever found it.
No,
But-
I think he did. I think he found him and he killed him. I think he did. I think OJ killed the murderer
Yeah.
of Ron and Nicole.
Yeah. By having brain cancer.
He killed him slowly. That was the long play. He's like, no, I'm still on the hunt.
It's like,
I have
like
a
a
good
Suge
lead.
Knight giving Easy Yates.
Yeah, when I find him, though, I'm going to kill him. He did, just slowly,
Yeah.
over probably years.
And the weird thing is, like, he had his kids sign NDAs like on his deathbed,
That's interesting.
and he also made sure that his brain couldn't go to any CTE research. He is getting cremated.
I'm wondering who made that decision. So a couple of things you said there that stand out. Number one, the CTE thing. That's an interesting. Why would he give a shit?
Right.
But he also wasn't able to actually have any money because any money he would get has to
Yeah.
go to the Goldmans. That's where that book came from.
Right.
That he was going to do it where it was clearly said, if I did it.
Yeah.
And then they published it. They got the rights to it. They republished it a year later. The Goldmans did.
Mm-hmm.
And then he changed the cover to just say, I did it. And then real tiny, it says if in the I. So it's not like libel. But but I always wondered to myself, especially since he got out of prison, even before that, like how is he paying his bills? How is he living and golfing and doing all this stuff? I wouldn't be surprised if maybe the NFL was like, hey, if you do this favor for me, if you ever pass, God forbid, that you go and say that your brain can't be used to study CTE, we'll figure out a way for you to get some income.
That's an interesting thought.
Because the NFL, think of this, the NFL wants to fight that CTE thing so bad. And all it would take is just the simple argument of, look at the damage that CTE could cause. It could drive somebody like OJ to murder, right?
Yeah.
So I if I was a conspiracy theorist, I would believe that. Second of all, the NDAs of the children. I think that comes across as weird because it's like, why wouldn't you want them to tell their story?
Yeah.
But I wonder if it's a thing to protect them from the
From the
Goldmans.
Goldmans.
Because they can't, because you don't want them ever to go out and do a documentary
Yeah.
and then have it just like that book snatched up by the
Right.
Goldmans. Now, I think the Goldmans do that. I don't agree with that frame of thinking of that the Goldmans aren't do anything.
Yeah.
But if OJ's, clearly not wanting to pay anything to the Goldmans, that would be the move to do.
Right. And, we'll never get to see Vince Russo's idea of OJ versus Fred Goldman at WrestleMania.
Was that idea supposed to be actually OJ versus Goldman or lookalikes?
No, Vince Russo pitched OJ versus Fred Goldman, and he's like, well, why don't we give Fred Goldman like a bat or a gun?
Hey, sorry your son was murdered. Would you like to get in the ring with the guy who possibly murdered him with a lethal weapon?
Yeah.
That'll make for great TV. Like, what's the next step there, Vince? What is the thinking
Russo,
there?
by the way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Luckily, Vince McMahon didn't fucking lose his shit
No,
yet.
I think the NDAs are definitely to protect their money versus Goldman.
Yeah.
With the other thing, with the CTE thing, I think
NFL hates anything
Well,
CTE.
I know. I think what did Jordan Belfort call his people? Wormholes?
Rat holes.
Rat holes. So I think OJ had rat holes.
Oh, for
where,
sure.
Where he was getting his money.
Mm-hmm.
But with the CTE thing, it could be like that. You made a really good point about the NFL, but I also think that if they studied his brain and knew that he had CTE, that it would almost make him look more guilty for killing.
It would make him look guilty. I definitely think CTE had an element
Right.
there because anyone with severe brain injuries, their
Benoit.
personality changes. Perfect example.
Benoit had they said that he had the brain of like a 90-year-old dementia patient.
Yeah, so I could
And he
imagine,
was in his 40s.
but the blowback, because obviously it would make OJ look guilty. But what does it matter? He can't be tried again.
Right.
He already lost the civil case, obviously. So he's technically been convicted, just civilly, not criminally. But I think the blowback. That's why I think like he wouldn't just help out the NFL from the goodness of his heart.
Right.
I definitely think there was there. It would really damage the NFL more than it would damage OJ.
Yeah.
That's what I would think.
Yeah, and I think too with his like legacy, I think like he probably wants to be like not remembered as a murderer, but like if they did find CTE, like he probably wants to be remembered as someone that was thinking clearly. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, sure. Well, yeah, that's definitely something to think about.
but yeah, the juice has run out.
Well, I did want to show you something.
Yeah.
I wrote a song.
Okay.
I wrote a song about OJ and his legacy. It's called The Juice's Legacy.
Okay. Perfect.
It's a soul rhythm and blues song.
Okay.
I want you to, I want you to take a listen to this because I thought this was really. I actually have two versions of it. I'd like to show you.
All right.
I spent a lot of time on this. I think. Tell me if it sounds good. I can go back to the lab and see if I can create something. But yeah, here's a little song I put together about the Juice's legacy.
In a city of light, where the dreams were born, a man with soul, a man adored. He moved like fire,
Yep, move like fire.
his spirit untamed.
You feel that?
I do.
The Juice was his name, forever engraved, with eyes like the ocean.
Who is this, Otis Redding?
So
This is me.
deep and blue, he danced on the court. His moves so smooth, a charismatic soul.
That's my favorite part.
A light in the dark, his passion ignited, a blazing spark. His legacy lives on like a burning flame. Oh, through the pain and the glory, he won the game.
He did. He won it.
Ooh, he won the
Ooh,
game.
yeah, the glove didn't fit, his innocence revealed. Yeah, yeah, the Juice's spirit forever sealed. Oh,
Dude, that was amazing.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah, that was.
That came from the. That came
The
from
glove didn't fit.
Yeah, I like that part. That was my favorite part. That part and how he danced. Well, hold on a second. How he danced on the court.
Yeah.
That was another favorite of
in
mine.
a city of
Yeah, here's the lit. Yeah, he danced on the court. His moves so smooth. A charismatic soul.
Yeah.
Like that's
Describes him to a T.
that's the Juice, baby.
That is the Juice.
Okay, so in all honesty, I did not sing that. Believe it or not.
I know. It's Otis Redding.
No, that's AI. That was AI
No,
generated.
it's Otis Redding.
So I spent probably 3 hours in a stream, and I made these all in a stream. There's a few of them that we that I came up with. It was the day that OJ died. We made that one. There's another version, but that's the better one. I won't even play the other one. I just didn't remember which one it
That
was.
was good.
We also did one. Do you remember the guy? Do you remember the Virginia Tech shooter, the
Yes.
Asian kid,
Yep.
Cho?
Yeah.
We made a song about him
right.
because that was a big stream that I did about a year ago or so.
Okay.
Where it was actually 2 streams. We really deep dived into that whole thing, and so we thought it was appropriate. Now his favorite song was "Shine" by Collective Soul.
Yeah.
You know that song?
Yeah.
You know that song? Okay. So he loved that song. So I was like, you know what? Let's make a song in remembrance of Cho. And AI came up with this one, American Shadows, which I thought was interesting. Yeah. So let's just take a listen to this real quick.
Joe walks the halls with the fire in his eyes. Got his mind loaded, heavy with disguise. He's a student of chaos, a rebel forging steel, carrying guns and hammer scars that won't heal. He cuts carpet with knives, leaves his mark in the night, a twisted frenzy of darkness. He seeks to ignite with a pen in his hand, a playwright he becomes, but the stage is too small for the demons he outruns. In the shadows of America's dreams, Joe waits, his heart dances, screams.
Wow.
His alter ego, question mark, he dances through chaos, leaving his mark.
So, what are the parameters that you have to put in to like?
Let's see if it tells me the original prompt on this. Hold on. I said so the parameters were create a 90s alternative rock song about a student named Cho who loves guns, hammers, cuts carpet with knives. These are all things we talked about during this, documentary and everything. And fancies himself a playwright because he wrote some really shitty plays. that we read. He also has an alter ego named Question Mark. No, so the key here, like for the Juice's legacy, I said a Blue-Eyed Soul song because we had to figure out like the type of music we wanted. A Blue-Eyed Soul song of a man that passed. A man that passed. His friends knew him as the Juice. He was very athletic and charismatic, and everyone loved him. He did not slay his wife. The glove didn't fit. That was the... And so what we found out is if I said make a song about OJ, it would spit out some garbage.
Yeah.
But because it uses everything it can find on the internet, so if you just kind of nudge it and you're like, okay, you just kind of describe what you're talking about, it's going to research it and it's going to pull up the information, but it's not going to be tied to the name, you know?
What we should do, or what you should do, is make an AI song about Dubby.
Well, so I think you're reading my mind. There's a couple others I wanted to show you real quick since we're on the subject. Everyone knows Uncle Stinker from the stream. If you don't know the streams, it's Uncle Stinker's a big part of it.
Yeah.
We made a song for him.
All right.
I wanted to show you that, and there's one other one I want to show you. They're short. They're like a minute, you know. But this one I was really impressed. This was the first one we made because it was his idea.
Yeah.
And so here's
Uncle Stinker, you're a real smooth cat.
wait. I don't think this isn't the one. This one's not bad, but this isn't the one. This one's way better.
Uncle Stinker, you're a real smooth cat with your fly blue and that big old hat. You never fail to light up the room. Stinky baby, you bring the groove.
I was reading the parameters.
Oh, sorry. I tried to find that.
That's
When
all
the
right.
music plays, you come alive in so many ways. Your funky rhythm, it's a sight to see. Uncle Stinker, you bring the energy. Hey there, Stinker man, you're the life of the party. We're your biggest fans. Oh, shake it, do you play? Uncle Stinker.
This is a good song. It's good.
I was
isn't it?
just thinking, like, music might just go to AI.
Oh yeah.
Like,
That was the joke we made all night. Was like, I was blown away when we made that. This was the first one we made that night. I was like, get the fuck out of
Yeah.
here. Like there's slight things you can tell is
Right.
AI, but overall, it's not bad.
well, that was part of that, like, writer's strike, right? Because the
Yeah.
actors don't want the AI to fucking,
Yeah.
like, this is unbelievable.
This one, for whatever reason, is a little longer. This one, they just like they extended it. And they just kind of like it's like a full fucking
I know.
song. I can make for $10. Guess how many songs I can make?
100.
500. So I have 2,900 credits on this thing. Like that's now granted. It's limited. Like there's some other ones that miss the mark. So and then the thing is you're still billed even if it doesn't come out right.
Right.
So it always gives you two versions. So the other version is the first one I was playing, which is a little bit different.
Yeah.
This one's not bad, but the other one's way better.
Right.
We don't have to listen to the whole thing, but same lyrics though.
Yeah.
And that big old hat, you never failed to light up the room. Stinky baby.
So anyway, so there's that. So the last one I was going to show you here is that stood out because we had the whole chat was jumping in and giving suggestions. This one, where was it? There was one. There was a few for myself. Oh, it's one of these. I don't remember which one it is. About me.
Okay.
So I have a theme song. It's syncopated New Jack Swing. You know what that style is?
Yes.
Okay. So it's really good, but it's one of these that really stood out. And I don't remember. I want to say, is it this one? trying to remember. Oh wait, this is an instrumental. Sorry. That was an instrumental. I got an instrumental because I was like, these aren't bad. These are pretty good. But you can kind of get the
Yeah.
idea. I think it's this one.
Melvin Joy.
No, right. I think it's this one.
Melvin Joy is the man in the spotlight.
No, it's this
Melvin
one.
Joy.
It's this one. This is the best. This is me. This is my theme song.
Nice.
The lyrics are a little. The lyrics don't match up. It's a good.
Yeah, I mean-
this could have been a hit. This could
Yeah,
have been a New Kids.
Could
Yeah.
have been hit.
It's really kissing my ass. I think it knows. It knows who's paying the bills.
Essence in the air.
There's a little breakdown in it. That's good.
Little dance mix.
So I figured, with that being said, we should wrap up tonight. We should make 2 songs. I think you need a song
All right.
since I got one,
Yeah.
and then we'll make one for Dubby,
Perfect.
and then that'll be our commercial. So this is how it works. I'll show you here. You go to create. And you can get really in depth but I find that if I do the custom mode, it doesn't actually make it better. It actually makes it
Right.
worse. So you just kind of give it something basic. So what I want to give it, it's like the most simple explanation. So what kind of genre of music do you want? Just generally speaking. You don't have to get like into syncopated New Jack Swing.
Let me get some, like, do you have like a Motown?
Motown? Yeah, we could do
Yes.
Motown. You want upbeat or you want like a slower?
Yeah, a little upbeat Motown.
Upbeat Motown style song about Bobby Caboose. And then what kind of, just give me like 3 major things. It should, maybe a catchphrase or something.
The best in the business.
Yeah, here we go. He's the best in the business. I'll spell check this later, but he's the best in the business. Okay.
Something about Dunstan checks in just comes to mind. Hey, let's go back. He is the AC Slater of our time.
People say he's the AC. That's how is that how he spelled it? Okay. Slater of our time. Now there is like a limit, so I could probably only put like another sentence. So
And
the caboose is loose.
sure.
The caboose is loose. That's
Yep.
how you spell it, right? Yeah. All right, let me go.
I hate when people spell lose like that.
Yeah. Upbeat Motown style song about Bobby Caboose. He's the best in the business. People say he's the. Okay, so here we go.
All right.
We're gonna create it. It only takes like a couple of minutes, honestly. Not even a couple of minutes. It takes like a minute, and it will pop it out. It gives you 2 versions. So we'll listen to both, and we'll see which one you think is the best.
Okay.
And yeah, I think this will be This will be good. So it's Motown Funky. Okay, so
right.
it's gonna give you a little funky
All right.
one. So because we just went upbeat because I wanted to. So I don't know like because it only knows so many different types
Right.
and different like adjectives for it.
Yeah.
So that's why I try to keep that loose. That's how I ended up. I just wanted New Jack Swing. I said upbeat, and it gave me syncopated, and I was like, I don't really know
Sure.
what that means, but okay. So here's the first version of your song.
All right.
Let's play it so you can see the lyrics.
Is loose, he's got the move. Dancing all night to the Motown groove. The crowd goes wild when he hits the stage. He's the AC Slater of a modern day.
Yeah.
Bobby Caboose, he's got that style. Funky rhythm makes the people smile. He's the best in the business, ain't no doubt. His music's got that Motown cloud.
I like it.
This
Bobby Caboose, he's got the groove. Shake his hips, make the people move. He's the king of the dance floor, can't be tamed. Bobby Caboose, he's gonna rock this game.
All right.
is good.
Yeah, I like it.
It's got a little breakdown in it.
Is this gonna? Are we gonna have one of these for all of our wrestlers
You probably should.
for the promos?
Probably should. That's just gonna be one more step in the process.
Trying to make it simpler. And,
Bobby Caboose,
Well, I own the rights. I pay. I read the fucking fine print. Since I pay, I own the rights to it. So.
He's gonna rock this game.
all right. What's the other version sound like now?
Does this ever end? It just keeps going. Oh, okay. There it is. It's a minute and a half. All right. It's a nice
it's
jingle.
Yeah.
I honestly kind of like it because it's fun, but it doesn't go on too long.
Right.
You know. Okay.
It's not a 3-4 minute song. You know.
So here's the other version that would be Motown Funky.
right.
Same lyrics, but
The caboose is loose. He's got the moves.
I like this one better.
Dancing all night to the Motown groove. The crowd goes wild when he hits
Oh,
the
man.
stage. He's the AC Slater of a modern day.
This is really good. This is way better.
This is awesome.
Caboose is loose. He's got that style.
It's like straight from 110th Street.
Yeah.
The people smile. He's the best in the business. Ain't no doubt. His music's got that Motown cloud. Bobby Caboose, he's got the groove. Shaking his hips, making people move. He's the king of the dance floor. Can't be tamed.
Dude, I want this when I DJ, dude. This is awesome. I could just play all AI music. No one would be like, what the fuck?
Bobby's game. Bobby's game.
I like it. I like it better.
This is way better. The quality's even better. The instruments that are in
I
this.
know.
It's so wild though.
Caboose, he's got the groove.
Like
Shaking
all the
his hips,
instruments that
making
it's picking.
people
All
Right.
the
He's the king of the dance floor. Can't be tamed. Bobby Caboose is gonna rock this game.
wow, that's good.
That is good.
That's amazing. All right, well let's make the official Dubby song here. What kind of genre do you think Dubby would fit into?
Gives you energy.
It's energetic. It's got, you know, I want to say, because it's like it's kind of, is it? Do you think it's aimed for gamers or is it more
It is.
athletic? Okay, so it's a gamer. Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's got the .gg,
Yeah.
right? So I would say definitely Dubby. Maybe. I don't want to overthink it. What's something that would? What do gamers like to listen to? It's hard to
Like
pick.
techno?
I don't think so. That's
well,
too on the nose, I think.
I was thinking because of the whole retro feel, right?
Right.
Maybe like a boy band.
Okay. So, make a song in the style of a 90s boy band. The song is about Dubby, the best energy source in the world.
Promo code 64-bit legends.
Get your Dubby at Dubby. I spelled it, yeah.
.gg.
.gg. And oh yeah,
Promo code 64-bit legends.
use promo code. Oh, whoops, I forgot the E. Use promo code 64-bit legends.
All right.
I think that's pretty good.
Yep.
Gets the point. Let me just double check. I see it doesn't spell check doesn't understand what W is. Why is this W misspelled but this W? Oh no, okay,
No,
it
both.
did it. And here we go. Let's see. So now you don't even have to promote it.
I know.
AI is going to do it for
Yep.
you. Soon we won't even have to do the podcast.
I
We'll
know.
Just tell it. Like, make a podcast.
Yeah, I made a podcast about, OJ.
Yeah. Pop 90s boy band. Okay, so that is a
right.
category that exists. You got two different versions, so that's good.
Dubby energy. Electric energy.
Electric Energy, the first one's still working, so let's wait till they're both done here. Okay, here we
All
go.
right.
Here's the first one. It's called Electric Energy.
Feeling low, feeling weak, need a shock to my system. Searching high, searching low, for a way to keep the rhythm. Then I found you, Dubby. You're the key to my ignition.
Ooh, wow.
Your power flowing through me.
Little R. Kelly.
I'm on a new mission. The spark that I need, you're the light in my darkness with your energy so pure. I'm feeling weightless, Dubby.
Kind of sounds like a
You're
little
the best,
Bieberish.
a legend in the
Yeah.
making. Promo code 64-bit legends, there's no mistaking. Dubby, shining bright. You're my electric light. With your power, I'm on fire. Taking me higher. Dubby, energy source. You're the force I endorse. Unleashing my potential.
Unleashing my potential.
Wow.
You're essential.
The essential.
Wow. That was good. Let's see what the other one sounds like. Oh, still got some.
Still going. Oh, it's got a little
Yeah.
instrumental there.
The essential.
I was just hoping maybe the promo code would have been mentioned more than once, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's
It's
fine.
in there. How long? I think it's almost done. Oh, no, it's still going.
Nope.
We got it. The AI is really feeling itself on this song. It's like, no. We're in a groove. We're in a vibe.
The essential.
Are they saying Dub Central?
I think so.
That's all right. That's interesting. All right, here's version 2.
Feeling low, feeling weak. Need a shock to my system.
This sounds like making the band. Like, who was it? Like S Club 7 or some shit?
Keep the rhythm that I found.
Yes.
Dubby, you're the key to my ignition. With your power flowing through me, I'm on a new mission. You're the spark that I need. You're the light in my darkness with your energy so pure. I'm feeling weightless, Dubby. You're the best, a legend in making. Promo code 64-bit legends. There's no mistaking. Dubby, shining bright.
You gotta tell T about this because
I know.
he's gonna be so mad. Because his stuff's still better. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. You can clearly tell this is AI. but
Right.
My energy source. You're the force I
Because you do rap songs too.
Yeah, I know. I saw that on the genre thing. Or one of the things that, I just saw it on there that you could do rap.
The problem with rap songs, though, are they're too short because they only write so many lyrics.
Yeah.
So it's not very dense. You can't really figure that one out.
I kind of like the first one better than this one.
Yeah, the first one was definitely better. This one's really vibing itself. This one goes on for like 2 minutes. I mean, it's still good. It's catchy. I'm sure Dubby would like it.
Yeah. We need to clip this and send it to Dubby.
Yes, absolutely. All right, well, that was pretty clear.
All right. Go to w.gg. Use
Yeah.
promo code 64BitLegends if you didn't notice in the song already. You get your 10% off. I
Yeah.
just got two new flavors the other day.
There we go.
Blueberry and I forget the other one, but trying them all.
Perfect.
And they work.
Well, I think we really covered everything we could
did.
today.
So until next time, I'm Bobby Caboose. This is Melvin Troy. Follow us on social media, subscribe, listen, and what you gonna do, brother, when some shitty documentary tries to follow you around?